Welcome to YouTube.com featuring Robin Hood Radio, featuring this, my official COVID 2020 vinyl haul. I had a vinyl haul earlier, and I kind of called that a coronavirus haul, but this is like the official one because cases, everyone knows, cases are crazy, and specifically where I live, SC has the third worst rate for the second wave that's going through. So we've got it bad. So me venturing out into the wild to find records was certainly a health hazard. One that I was willing to take because I did not think I messaged the dude. I was like, hey, when are you busy? And so I can come in when it wasn't busy. So basically the whole time at the record stop, the game room is what it was called. So my whole time at the game room, there was no one else looking at the records. There were people walking behind me. So this was at a flea market. First time I'd been to the local flea market. Didn't have a fee, so that was cool. I know some markets you have to pay to get in. This one didn't. So I was just able to walk in and head directly to the record stand. And that's all I did at the flea market. Found out about the game room through a Facebook ad, looking for something, just looking for school books, and then it recommends me records sometimes. And this was like brand new stock, looked like a lot. I'll put a picture here of it. They even had like a Bitches Brew in the photo, so I was like, I'm gonna check this out because they have Miles Davis and they had a few other things that looked interesting to me. So I went, not as nice as it looks in this photo. I didn't even see the neon sign, I didn't notice that, or the spoons. But this was definitely where I was at, and definitely a photo of the place. It just was like a lot darker and hotter than I looked in the photo, but it was still a cool place. And they did not have the Bitches Brew copy there. At least I didn't see it when I went through. There were so many records to go through, so I didn't get through all of them, but it was up front, and some of the records that were up front were no longer up front when I got there. But he still said like it was not very busy through the day, so I was definitely one of the first to look through this stock, which was cool. There were some people didn't have masks, most did. But again, I live in SC, and there are just a lot of people here who, that's probably why our cases spike so much, because people don't like masks. I don't know, man. People are questioning everything, and I'm just going to tell you, like, please do not question the masks. Wear a mask, please. Be kind to your neighbor. And when you are in public, wear a mask. So I wore a mask and gloves and went through the vinyl records. I found out about this record shop within there. It's brand new, like first stock. This is my first time going to like, hey, we got new stock out, and me going there like first day it's out and being able to look through it. So I got the cream of the crop, obviously. I wasn't able to look through everything. They had a ton of records, a ton of like classic rock and different rock records and pop records that like I'm not super into, but I know or like other people would love to have if they don't already own them. But a lot of just like classic stuff that a lot of people would have in their collections. And then some other things. Prices at the shop were average. I wouldn't say they had crazy prices. It seemed to go like 5, 10, 15, 20. It seemed to go like in fives were pricing, so that was a little odd. And I don't know how they would have priced some of the records, which like weren't worth that, because they had like at least they had 2 Edith Piaf records that I was looking at. Neither of them were in great condition, and one I was just like, well, maybe if it's cheap I'll get it, but then it had a $10 sticker on it, which I found out handing it to the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, there's a sticker here. So didn't purchase that because it wasn't worth $10 to me in the condition it was in. But I did find 3 awesome vines. Ended up spending $20. I went in there with 25 as my max, and that was just like if I found a single record that was worth 25. Otherwise, I wanted to spend less than that. So I spent $20 on 3 great records. I will show them off to you in the order I found them in. Oh, by the way, like the place was super hot, and I got so sweaty. So I hope the records like don't warp, but over time there. But I don't know if they would or not. As is, I went the first day and they weren't warped, and they're fine. So, first up, Emmylou Harris, Blue Kentucky Girl. Picked this up for $5. That's like the median. It's higher than the median on Discogs. I found out afterwards, but whatever. It's not expensive. It didn't come with the insert. It typically has like a paper insert sleeve that's got um, like designs on it and stuff. But I picked this up because I saw the country music documentary, which if you haven't seen, you need to see. Um, and this is the best condition record I purchased. Obviously, you don't know obviously, but it's the most recent one as well, coming from 1979. Um, and I just really liked Emmylou Harris and the country music documentary, and so I needed to check out her music, and finally bought this record after seeing it, because I thought it looked good and I figured it would be good. And turns out it won the 1980 Grammy for um, Best Female Vocal Performance Country Music. So, Best Country Music Album of that year, outside of her being a big artist. And it has the number one charting single, Beneath Still Waters, on side A, second track. I don't know exactly what that means. I assume it would mean that it was the number one in the country charts for a while, but I don't know. But anyways, that's cool. It's a country album. I enjoyed it. It certainly has some that's just like, okay, this is just like country music, and it's gonna take me some time to like really get to enjoying it. But I like it. I like her. So and vocals were honestly like they weren't like annoying to me. Like I like her vocals. So um, yeah, I enjoyed finding that, and now I have that in my collection. My best find, just because it was my most wanted, um, R.I.P. Ennio Morricone. What a guy! What a soundtrack! I've wanted this for a long while. Hoping to find it in the wild. Finally did. Condition, not as good as I would like it to be. It looked fine, like not that bad in person. I thought it would be very good, very good plus. Turns out it's more very good plus. But I will say that Discogs also says that the pressings in general of this album have not been stellar. So I think that certainly was a factor. But just I played through it, and throughout it's got pops and crackles. Nothing like insane where you're like, I don't want to listen to this. But it's also just like, man, I wish it sounded a little better in audio quality, especially like when it gets loud. And I feel like that's part of just the pressing issue, is it can get a little distorted. Um, but overall, still enjoyable, and absolutely adore this soundtrack. If you do not own this in your collection, like definitely be on the lookout for it, because it is such a great soundtrack. Um, Everything about it, like Marcia. I don't think I've ever heard that on its own, and that's just a fantastic track. Um, so yeah, definitely an awesome find. So glad I now own this in my collection. $10. That probably also a good plus. Outer sleeve, but that's fine by me. It looks fine and holds the record, especially since I put this MoFi sleeve in it, which is good. There, and then last but not least is the last record I found. So you think after that good band I'd be like, okay, I'm done and I gotta go, because I was kind of on a time crunch, just because I didn't want to stay that long and it was hot. But I had a stack, and then I decided to go look through the stack, and then found another section. So it was like kind of oddly organized, where it was kind of by um, like first name, last name, like band name, like alphabetical is what I meant to say there. But then there was this end section which was kind of like not alphabetical, and had like a mixture of children's records and another Emmylou Harris, and just like, I don't know, it was a weird mix there. I feel like that was just kind of more random, just soundtracks, children's records, and a little random. But I don't know. They even like I'll show you an image. Within that, I was like thinking through and just looking through more records. So I'm like, well, maybe I can find another soundtrack I really want, or like I really want the Robin Hood soundtrack, Walt Disney Robin Hood, and it had a lot of Walt Disney records. So I see maybe I could find that. Didn't, but I did find this Fantastica by Russ Garcia and his orchestra. This is one that's been on my want list for a while, and I got a good price on it. I paid less than it's worth on Discogs, which is cool. $5 for this. Current lowest price is $10, and I'd say this is probably better quality than the one that's even going for $10. Yeah, I'd say it's a very good plus. Outer sleeve, and then the record itself um, is probably VG, maybe VG plus, between VG and VG plus. Um, Definitely, I'd say probably actually VG, just because it's got some pops, crackles, but nothing terrible, and definitely not as bad as Good, Bad, the Ugly. So super happy to own this Space Age, Atomic Age album. Um, this is one that if you're into mid-century stuff like I am, like it's kind of a must-have. It's such a fantastic album. Like legitimately, like it's novelty somewhat, but there are also some legitimate good tracks on here. So this is one that if you ever see in the wild for $10 or under, I would recommend picking up if it's in good condition, because it is definitely a great one to have and to listen to, because it's just fun. So that is my overly long showing off of records. Maybe someday I'll go back and see some more. They had some other cool stuff, but some of it was overpriced, just like for what I wanted to pay for it. So they had like Hard Day's Night, which in like a good condition, which is the Beatles soundtrack, obviously, and I want that one. Probably most, since I don't own any Beatles, that's probably the one I want the most out of all the Beatles albums, and that was going for $40, and I just wasn't willing to put that down at the moment. Hopefully someday I'll find a $20 copy or something. But as is, it's love what I got, and great stop. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Robin Hoodie out. You have a great rest of your day.